Texas lawmakers say Republican Governor Greg Abbott has blood on his hands over how he's handling the humanitarian crisis at the southern border. Now the Justice Department is threatening action. Last week, Governor Abbott deployed miles of razor-sharp wire along the Rio Grande riverbank and a 1,000-foot barricade of wired buoys floating in the middle of that river between Mexico and Eagle Pass, further increasing migrants' risks of drowning, injury, and death. In a letter, the DOJ says the buoys violate federal law, raise humanitarian concerns, and present serious risks to public safety and the environment. The DOJ is giving the state until 2 p.m. tomorrow to come up with a plan to remove the buoys or be hit with a lawsuit. Abbott's cruel crackdown on migrant crossings doesn't end with the razor wire or the buoys. State troopers with the Texas Department of Public Safety report brutal incidents, including a 4-year-old girl pushed back into the Rio Grande River after passing out from heat exhaustion, a pregnant migrant woman getting caught in wire while having a miscarriage, and others being denied water in extreme heat and also being forced back into those dangerous waters. Joining me now is Texas State Senator Roland Gutierrez. He's also running to unseat Senator Ted Cruz in the United States Senate. Senator Gutierrez, it's always so good to have you on our show. Texas, no stranger to cruel and reckless immigration stunts. In this instance, though, Governor Abbott is adding even more danger to an already dangerous journey for asylum seekers. But it's not just the migrants who are being injured. Law enforcement officers are also at risk. Is Greg Abbott just shooting himself in the foot here with his latest immigration move?
Well, thank you, Katie. I mean, first off, as you said, these are just stunts. We've seen failure after failure on Operation Lone Star over the last 4 years, failure that has cost taxpayers money, that has resulted in the death of soldiers. One soldier died last year trying to rescue migrants because Greg Abbott's resource folks didn't give them the necessary equipment that he needed. He did not have a life preserver. And now, sadly, this cruelty that's happening along the border has turned into negligent homicide. That same email discusses a woman who died with her 2 children. This is negligent homicide. It's a state crime. It's injury to a child. What's happening along the Texas border right now has nothing to do with immigration. What Greg Abbott wants to do is I guess, send some kind of message. The fact is that immigration crossings have been cut in half since the implementation of Title VIII 2 months ago. The same Title VIII that Republicans fought against because Donald Trump created a chaos when he implemented Title 42, the stay in Mexico policy. The fact is they didn't stay in Mexico. They kept crossing. But the crossings had no implications for migrants. Under Title VIII, you're tagged, you're processed, you're deported, and a second reentry lands you in federal prison. The fact is, this Biden administration on this issue has won the day over the last 2 months, but Greg Abbott wants to continue to sow his lies and his campaign of misinformation so that people in Texas can hear some other story, and it's a story of cruelty, unfortunately.
Texas state troopers, as well as a medic at Eagle Pass, claimed that troopers were ordered. They were ordered to deny migrants water in this extreme heat and to push the migrants, including the children that they encounter, back into the Rio Grande. The Texas DPS is investigating these allegations, but of course, at the same time, is denying that they were treating migrants inhumanely. Senator, how can the DPS actually police itself, especially if it's doing this type of conduct?
We have a sad history in Texas of the Guardians guarding themselves and not doing a very good job. We all saw, Katie, what happened with Uvalde. We have yet to get any real accountability from the Department of Public Safety. No one was fired. The person that they said was fired was allowed to retire. The other person they said was fired is still at the agency. We saw a memo from Steve McCraw, the director of DPS, that said no one's going to be fired, an internal memo. What's happening in Texas is crazy. It's bizarre. It's illegal. But DPS has become no longer the state police. They've become Greg Abbott's goon squad. Now, let me be very clear. There's a lot of great police officers over there, like this medic and others, that want to do the right thing and continue to push back privately. But the fact is, we've gone a bridge too far on this thing on the river, and we are hurting women and children. We're hurting people, and this is not immigration policy. If you want to be the migrant cop, that's fine. Go hand them over to Border Patrol for processing. The vast majority get deported. It's simple as that. Instead, Greg Abbott would rather house the men for periods of over a year in 2 separate facilities. What's happening in Texas is just a straight lie, and people need to wake up because it's costing our taxpayer dollars. But sadly, it's resulting in the death of innocent people that are fleeing just tragedy in search of a dream.
State Senator Roland Gutierrez, I'm just going to say one thing before I have to let you go. You don't have to sell me on the idea of unseating Ted Cruz, so I'm wishing you luck on that run. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Katie.